The Greek stories of the end of Xerxes' reign revolve around marital difficulties, disorders in the harem, and a supposed dominance of Xerxes by certain of his courtiers. These accounts may reflect, though in a very confused and twisted way, some of the basic facts of the Book of Esther, including the deposing of Queen Vashti and her replacement by Esther, as well as the ascension of Mordecai to a position of great authority in the realm. As 2. 17. 10. 3. According to secular accounts, Xerxes was assassinated by one of his courtiers. Artaxerxes Longimanus, Xerxes' successor, is notable for his authorization of Ezra's return to Jerusalem with a large contribution for the support of the temple there. This occurred in Artaxerxes' 7th year 468 BCE. Es 7. 1-26. 8. 24-36 During the 20th year of Artaxerxes 455 BCE Nehemiah was granted permission to go to Jerusalem to rebuild the city. Ne 1. 3. 2. 1, 5-8 Nehemiah later returned for a time to the court of Artaxerxes in that king's 32nd year 443 BCE. Ne 13. 6. There is some disagreement in historical writings with regard to the reigns of Xerxes and of Artaxerxes. Referenced works place Artaxerxes' accession year in 465 BCE. Certain documents give to his father, Xerxes, a reign that continued into the 21st year. Xerxes' rule is customarily counted from 486 BCE when Darius, his father, died. His own first regnal year is viewed as having started in 485 BCE and his 21st year and the accession year of Artaxerxes are often said to have been 465 BCE. As for Artaxerxes, scholars usually say that his last year of rule began in 424 BCE. Some documents present that as year 41 of Artaxerxes' reign. If that were correct, it would mean that his accession year was in 465 BCE and that his first regnal year began in 464 BCE. However, there is strong evidence for calculating the last year of Xerxes and the accession year of Artaxerxes as being 475 BCE. This evidence is threefold. From Greek sources, from Persian sources, and from Babylonian sources. Evidence from Greek sources. An event in Greek history can help us determine when Artaxerxes began ruling. Greek statesman and military hero Themistocles fell into disfavor with his countrymen and fled for safety to Persia. According to Greek historian Thucydides I, CXXXVII, 3, who has gained fame for his accuracy, at that time Themistocles sent on a letter to King Artaxerxes, son of Xerxes, who had lately come to the throne. Plutarchus lives Themistocles, XXVII, 1 gives the information that Thucydides and Charon of Lampsacus relate that Xerxes was dead, and that it was his son Artaxerxes with whom Themistocles had his interview. Charon was a Persian subject who lived through the change of rulership from Xerxes to Artaxerxes. From the testimonies of Thucydides and of Charon of Lampsacus, we can see that when Themistocles arrived in Persia, Artaxerxes had recently begun ruling. We can establish the time when Artaxerxes began ruling by calculating back from when Themistocles died. Not all reference books give the same date for his death. However, historian Diodorus Siculus Diodorus of Sicily, 1154, 1. 1158, 3 relates his death in an account of things that happened when Praxeurgus was a chon in Athens. Praxeurgus was a chon in Athens in 471,470 BCE. O textoi acute muritra longo, Persia, Persian 615 him, at the time of Xerxes' murder, Artaxerxes, his son, was but a child, pure boy, which is true if Xerxes died in 475. Artaxerxes was then 16 years old, whereas in 465 he would have been 26 years old, which would not justify any more Justin's expression. According to this chronology, since Artaxerxes began to reign in 475, the 20th year of his reign proves to be in 455 and not in 445 as it is said quite commonly. Revue Apologetic, Paris, Volume 68, 1939, p. 94. If Darius died in 486 BCE and Xerxes died in 475 BCE, how could it be explained that some ancient documents allot Xerxes a reign of 21 years? It is well known that a king and his son might rule together in a double kingship, or co-regency. If this was the case with Darius and Xerxes, historians could count the years of Xerxes' reign either from the start of a co-regency with his father or from his father's death. If Xerxes ruled 10 years with his father and 11 years by himself, some sources could attribute to him 21 years of rulership, while others might give him 11 years. There is solid evidence for a co-regency of Xerxes with his father Darius. The Greek historian Herodotus 7:3 says, Darius judged his Xerxes' plea for kingship to be just and declared him king. But to my thinking Xerxes would have been made king even without this advice. This indicates that Xerxes was made king during the reign of his father Darius. Evidence from Persian sources. The co-regency of Xerxes with Darius can be seen especially from Persian bas-reliefs that have come to light. In Persepolis several bas-reliefs have been found that represent Xerxes standing behind his father's throne, dressed in clothing identical to his father's and with his head on the same level. This is unusual, since ordinarily the king's head would be higher than all others. In a new inscription of Xerxes from Persepolis,